This is a sutta called With Dona. And Dona is a Brahmin, is a priest in the priestly class of the um, of the society in which Buddha was living. And he sees on the ground that there are footprints. And in the footprints there's not just the impression of a foot, but there are spokes, 1,000 spokes, and a wheel with rims and hubs like a chariot wheel. And he's amazed. He thinks, he's an educated person. He's a Brahmin, so he's studied the holy texts of his culture. He's done all the philosophical debates, and he goes, "Wow, whatever being is leaving these footprints with a chariot wheel inside with 1,000 spokes must be a really holy, incredible being." So he follows these footprints, and he sees the Buddha sitting in meditation underneath a tree. And when he sees him, he sees that he has this incredible demeanor, and he says, "Master, are you a deva?" And a deva is a word in Pali and Sanskrit that means God. Are you one of the beings from the heavenly realms? And he says, "No, I'm not a god." And this is usually where the secular Western audience stops. They go, "Oh, said he's not a god. There it is. End of discussion." Right? Buddha's just a human like us. Okay, let's carry on reading. He says, "Are you a Gandhava?" A Gandhava can mean one of two things. Either it means a being who is in between lives, so he's transmigrating from one life to the other, or it can mean a celestial musician. So there are musicians in the upper realms, and the Gandhavas are those musicians. And he says, "No, I'm not a Gandhava." And then he says, "Well, are you a yaka?" Oh, you can also say the word yaksha. That's how they say it in Sanskrit. Are you a yaksha? And yakshas are spirits that live on the earth. They're a particular type of spirit that lives on the earth. They can be good, they can be bad. Yakshas are of mixed character, like human beings. Quite often they live in undisturbed forest areas. And then he says, "No, I'm not a yaksha." So there he is sitting at the foot of a tree. It's a natural question. Yakshas live near trees quite often. Are you one of those? No, I'm not. Well, how about this? Are you a human being? No, Brahman. I am not a human being. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I thought the Buddha admitted that he was a human being. No, he said, "I'm not a human being." And then the Brahman, the priest, recaps the whole situation. "I said you were a deva. You said no. I said, are you a Gandhava, a being who plays music for the gods? No. I asked if you were a nature spirit. You said no. And I asked if you were a human being, and you said no." And yet, remember, he's followed these footsteps that are the types of footsteps you would expect from a holy being, with these incredible markings inside. And he says, "I'm a being who has abandoned all of the causes that would cause someone to become a deva. I'm a being who's abandoned all of the causes that would cause you to become a musician for the gods, or a nature spirit, or a human being. And since they were abandoned by me and completely cut off, they're not going to develop in the future either. Instead, like a lotus, remember, a lotus is a flower that grows out of the water, and it grows in muddy areas, and it comes up out of the mud and the water. And because of the way the bud is shaped, the flower inside never gets any mud on the inside. So he's saying, I grew up out of the same world that you're in, but what I am is not a human being. And instead, you should know me as awakened." This word awakened is Buddha. So what are you? I'm Buddha. So Buddha is a separate category from human beings. I'm no longer a human being, although, I have been a human being in the past. But all of the things that make someone a human being have now been completely cut off, and I am Buddha. That's what I am now. Wow. Okay. So what does it mean to be a Buddha? What does it mean to be a Buddha? He's not a human being. Is this actually a remarkable difference, or is he just saying, you can call me an awakened person, but actually I really am a human? No. Not a human being. Brahman. Priest, I'm not a human being. I am Buddha. What is a Buddha? So again, this is where so many secular Buddhists can just fast forward to the next section. So this sutra, TOH 95, okay, TOH 95. This sutra describes a huge history of what the Buddha did. This is the Play in Full Sutra, the Play in Full Sutra. This describes the whole past life history of the Buddha and how he got to the point where he became a Buddha. And not just a Buddha, but in particular, the particular type of Buddha that he is a Samyaksam Buddha, a unsurpassed, fully awakened Buddha. And a Samyaksam Buddha is a Buddha that cultivates over an extremely long period of time relationships with other beings so that when they reach their final life before Buddhahood, that they have prepared the conditions really precisely so that they can basically launch a new round of Buddhist teachings at a time and in a place where no Buddha has given teachings. So it's a very particular sort of set of causes and conditions that have to be accumulated for you to be that particular type of Buddha. Now, of course, all of us can attain enlightenment that has exactly the same qualities as this Buddha. That's true. But if we wanted to attain Buddhahood in exactly the same way, where there were no Buddha's teachings around, and we were going to reintroduce the Buddha's teachings to a new, basically a world that didn't have them anymore, we would have to go through a much longer process of setting up the conditions for that to be so.